Hello and welcome friends, my name is Sonu Singh and once again you have started watching me to this YouTube channel. So today I'll talk about the ideas and tips that can help you to become a better English speaker. There are so many students out there, they understand the importance of English communication and that's why they really try hard to become better. The first step of learning any language is to understand the translation. Translation means you do not have to understand the grammar. Sometimes people start studying the lengthy grammar and that is very difficult. I have seen individuals who are graduate and postgraduate from English, or sometimes they are even PhD from the English. But when it comes to communicate in this language, they do not have the confidence because they have the understanding of grammar and translation. So that's why they can translate, but if you do not have the fluency, you will never develop confidence. And that's also true that suppose you want to convince somebody or you want to convey some message to somebody and you are depending on the translation. It will make your process of speaking very slow and you will not be able to create the efficiency in your communication process. So if you want to become a very good and impactful speaker, it is very important for you to become fluent. So how can you become fluent? You have to process this language to communicate. Most of the time, like in our schools or in our education system, English is treated as a subject. I see that there are so many students who write the question answer and then try to learn the question answer. They try really hard so that they can learn question and answer. But that is not the way to learn any language. If you are reading that subject of English, you need to know that this subject is included only so that you can improve your increase your language proficiency. And if your language proficiency stays the same and you depend on passing the examination, that is not a good thing, because that subject, that language is included in your syllabus with certain perspective. Then I noticed one thing, that students who read English, they gain this ability to speak. And the students who avoid reading, they do not have the proper ability to speak English. Because the stories books, the literature book that is designed for the students or that is designed for the kids, they have certain pattern and certain kind of motivation. Suppose if you are studying in post-graduation or if you are following your PhD, the content or the book that you will come across is a kind of literary, very rich in literature, and you will come across very difficult word. But the books that is designed for the students or for the kids, it is actually designed to create the learning understanding or the create the language awareness in the mind of the students, because their understanding about the language is not that much rich. They do not need that much advanced and tough word. They need the language so that they can easily understand it, or if they do not understand, with just slightest help they can process this language, they can understand. And that's why even adult, or if you are in certain age of your life, you can follow these story books. And there is one advantage of stories books is that suppose if you learn one story, you will possess around 100 to 150 words, because a small story that contains only 200 or 300 words, stories are very easy to learn. You just read the story and then that will stay in your mind. So when you read the story and somehow you come across the words which meaning you do not understand, just take the help of dictionary, just take the help of some online dictionary, and instantly you can get the meaning of that sentence, that word or that sentence. And when you complete the story, all those words will stay in your mind in the form of paragraph or in the form of stories. If you learn one story, it means that you learn 100 words. So if you are reading the stories again and again, your mind, your brain will grasp more and more words, and the words will remain in the form of situation and paragraph. And that's how you will be empowered to speak English, to process English. So it is not only the kids that get benefit from these story books, but it is the adult also. Second thing is that you need to speak English. Without speaking, without practicing, you are not going to master this language. And to some extent, I believe that even if you are not good at grammar, even if you are not spending much time in learning the grammar, still you can become a good English speaker. Why? Because you read this language and you try to speak. When you read this language, your brain actually understands the grammar behind it, but it understands in the form of communicative language. When you study the grammar, it is in the form of rules and regulations. So you understand the rules, but you don't know that how to make the sentence out of it. And if you try to make it, it will be difficult. But when you understand the rules and regulations and the grammar with the help of reading, your brain understands the rules. You can't define the rule, but you will exactly follow the exact grammar that is required to speak correct English. So depend on reading, and every day create that opportunity so that you can speak 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Even if you don't find any person around you, try to record yourself, try to take the subscription of so many paid and unpaid application, and with the help of that you can find out the English speaking partner. And if you practice it, trust me, suppose you read something for 30 minutes or 1 hour, you just need to spend double time in speaking. I do the same thing. Even if I don't have people around me, I just take my camera, I just take my mobile and start talking, because I know that sometimes my language is good, but there are small problems that exist that I do not understand. Like when earlier I was speaking English, I was taking long pauses, I was taking more pauses, and I was not aware about it. Somebody indicated me, but still it was not improving. Then I decided that now I'll do something, and that is I would record my video. So I started recording my video. So when I started recording my video, I had this greed that I will upload this video on Instagram or Facebook or on YouTube. But there was one problem, that I was taking pauses, I was making vague kind of faces, or my facial expression was not good. Then I decided that I would try to eliminate all the problems that exist in my English speaking. So slowly I started writing out on the paper, and I started identifying my problems. And I observed that exactly after 2 months or 3 months, my problems, the communication problems, the pauses, the other facial expression started improving. And then I had this trick, I had this manner or way that how can I improve my English speaking. So I started doing it, I started reducing my problem, and now I am in front of you. That without taking help of anyone, I can speak flawless English. So you need to follow the same thing, that first start with very easy thing. It is not like you have to read the newspaper, magazine and difficult stuff. Start with very easy. And that easy will start by reading the stories, because stories will always remain in your mind. Suppose if I give you the advice that, okay, read the magazine or read the newspaper, what will happen? News is not something that will stay in your mind. Next day or after 2 days you will forget. But if you understand the one story, it is not possible to forget it. At least you will take more time to forget the story. And if you remember the story, you will remember the paragraph, you will remember the sentence, and you will remember the words. So you can purchase the Panchtantra story, or you can purchase any good stories, so that you can entertain yourself, and at the same time you can learn some good words also. Thanks to the YouTube, that on YouTube you can find out so many channels who are specifically designed for the kids or designed for the English learners. You will find out the stories with subtitle. They will explain the story in a very attractive manner. You would listen the story, you would understand, and that's how you can identify the words also. Because with the help of subtitle, if you do not understand the meaning of any word, you will just stop the video, take the screenshot, and you will try to search the meaning in online dictionary. And within few seconds, that word meaning will be in front of you. But you have to follow a process. Well, there are so many methods that can help us to become a better speaker, better person, but it is very important to prioritize. If you have the priority in your life that you want to become a good English speaker, or you want to improve at any cost, any idea will work for you. But if you are a person who is very curious, but after some time you are not able to maintain the consistency, no idea will work for you. So make sure that you are determined enough, make sure that you have any idea, you will follow it with full consistency. And the most important thing is that you will always understand the importance, you will always practice. Because speaking comes by speaking. If you speak a lot, you are going to become an amazing English speaker. So I hope that you will find this video interesting, and if you like this video, then hit the subscribe button, share this video with your friends. Thank you for staying with me. See you in next video.